Hey, fellow watchers, welcome to a special edition of Born to Watch. This is an episode, something we've never done before, about a special movie that we've already covered. So it's a second go around.
Sequel.
It's a sequel. It's part two. We actually covered this movie for our 100th episode. Dan wasn't involved.
No, I don't remember that one because I wasn't there.
Yeah, Dan will. This will be his first go around with it, so which is good. 50 years ago, Steven Spielberg created a film that changed cinema forever. And last weekend, we celebrated 250ths, took a trip to Tweed City Hoyts, went back in the time machine to 1975 to see the great movie Jaws on the big screen. Only this time with better clothes, recliners, and a bunch of people that had actually never seen the movie before. Yeah. Which was a little bit scary.
Was for them.
It was for them. It was for them. What better way to celebrate my own 50th than with a group of my mates and a movie that shaped my childhood and is arguably my favourite movie. It's in a tie with Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back.
Wow.
Joining me on the Orca today as we go sharking to catch some porkers. Two people who were there with me. Dan on the land. How are you, mate?
Mate, I'm good. Did you enjoy that meme I sent through about Gen X being boomers who like Star Wars and The Prodigy? I thought that was very apt.
Yes, I did enjoy that. What I enjoyed more was getting you off the land. Leaving the farm's not easy for you.
It
getting
was.
You down the coast.
Yeah, down the Big Smoke. It certainly, it's different. Far fewer kangaroos and less chickens. Obviously, as a poultry farmer, it was good to get away though. You know, the land will always be my blood, and I'll always revert back to it. But yeah, great to come down and see you cats in the Big Smoke and go to a cinema, which is, I can't even tell you the last time I actually ventured into a cinema. So that was great.
Yeah, well, you're not big on the movies, are you? Really?
It just reeks of effort. Yeah. I like the content. I just can't be fucked finding a cinema. So that's because it's probably, I don't know. It would take me, the closest cinema to me would be a 45-minute walk, about a 8-minute drive. So no, I just can't be fucked.
Is that Tawantin Twin?
No, Tawantin isn't known for its cinemas, mainly known for blokes slinging bags in the park, but it is Noosa Junction would be my closest.
Okay, lovely. Look, we've got a special guest with us today. He's been on the podcast before. He's now a world-renowned podcaster himself from the When I Grow Up podcast, Mr. Paul Glasby. Welcome.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Yes, mate, it's nice to have you. Again, on the couch. Generally, I'm sitting at the desk and you're sitting at the couch, but today we're both on the couch.
Spot.
I am in your spot. I don't need a seat, though. I don't need a high chair.
I have to have a booster cushion. I feel like I'm sat too low when I'm there.
When Paul's on the podcast, for his podcast we record, he sits on a booster seat so he can see over the table.
Well, I just would like to thank you both. I know it's getting a bit warmer as spring has sprung, and the attire that you're wearing is not giving me camel toes vibes. So that's great, because I'm shotgun looking straight down at your ball sacks, and they're both fine. Yeah, packed lunch, all good.
I'm sure at some stage throughout the podcast, you'll get quite a view of my two balls.
Excellent. Can't wait.
Yeah. That'll be the highlight for Dan. There's no doubt. Okay, so look, we're doing something a little different. We're doing Jaws, the 50th anniversary. Incredible that this movie is actually 50. It's mind-blowing. And obviously it is up there for one of the best movies ever made. But so we don't need to go into too much detail about the movie itself. We all know Steven Spielberg directed it. We all know it starred Roy Scheider, Robert Shaw, Richard Dreyfuss, and half of Martha's Vineyard. John Williams created one of the most iconic themes and soundtracks in the history of cinema. And it's the movie that changed the world, created the Blockbuster, scared many people away from surfing, me probably being one of them.
Me too.
I do love living next to the beach. I'm not huge going into the water. I say that it's sand in the ball sack, but pretty much it's sharks. And a distinct lack of balance. So, but look, 50 years on, we went and saw Jaws at the movies. Now, it's something that I know no one in the cinema, apart from myself in our group, had seen it at the cinemas. And I'd seen it 10 years ago for the 40th anniversary when it got released on Blu-ray. Saw it at the Randwick Ritz in a much bigger cinema with 400 people in it. And it was like, it transported me back in time, and people were seeing it for the first time. So I sort of knew what to expect a little by seeing it on the big screen. But for you guys, seeing it for one, bit of a couple questions tiered here. You know, Jaws, what does it mean to you? And what was it like seeing it in the cinema? And I'm going to start with Paul.
Yep.
You know, what does Jaws mean to you? Like, you're a pommy, so surfing and the beach life is...
Yeah, we don't need to worry about sharks too much. We're
No.
But on Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon, I was doing an open home, and the family that owned the house said, "Oh, what are you doing for the rest of the weekend?" And I said, "Oh, I'm going to see Jaws tonight." And the husband said, "Oh, you won't be going in the sea." I went, "I don't go in the sea." And he's like, "Why not?" I was just in Jaws when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But no, it was great. Like, because I've only ever seen it on the TV.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it was like here, but in England, we had the thing, it's called they had the radio times and the TV times, I think it was. There was like these two TV magazines. And when Jaws was on, like on a Sunday night or a Saturday night or whatever, it was like such a big event that they'd have the, like the 3D glasses, with the green and the red lens. They were like a cardboard sort of pair of glasses.
Yes, I do know. Yes.
Like hold up, so that they do like a 3D version.
Yep.
On the TV. Like that was when
Right.
I was a kid.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I must have seen Jaws, I don't know, 10, 15 times. So I knew everything that was going to happen in the film, but it was quite obvious to people that didn't. I think his missus being one of them.
Literally. Sam was definitely on the edge of her seat. Quite literally on the edge of her seat.
She was nearly in the seat in front of her.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's good. And I think that's it proved that it's timeless.
Well, that's the thing is people always say, "Oh yeah, the shark's so fake looking." Looking back, it's not that fake.
It's not that bad.
It's pretty good.
It's not that bad.
Yeah.
It's not that bad.
There's some movements that I'm questioning. We'll talk about that later.
Absolutely. We'll get to that. Dan, what about you? Where does it sit for you? And what about Saturday night? I think you're on mute, mate.
I was just thinking about it a lot.
I think you're on mute.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking about it. Exactly. Yeah. No, I just wanted to. No, I was, of course, thinking quite poignantly whilst my mute was on. But no, what I was saying is Jaws has never been the same for me as it was for you. I enjoyed it. I'm glad I got an opportunity to see it on a big screen because, like Paul, that was my first time doing so. But it's never been a go-to staple for me like it has been for you. So it was really entertaining. There were scenes that I had forgotten about, and that reflective of the last time that I saw it. But yes, as Paul mentioned, my wife was the most entertaining because she hadn't seen it for a very long time. So every single jump scare got her perfectly, especially old mate in the rowboat when the head pops out, which coincidentally was added in after the test screening because the Steven Spielberg decided he wanted another jump scare added. So, and it got her an absolute cracker, which was worth the price of admission alone. So, yeah, that's me and Jaws. It's certainly not in my top films as it is for yours, but I was very, very glad to go and see it under this circumstance.
Yeah, it's interesting that the Ben Gardner head. I was waiting for that because when I saw it at Randwick Ritz with the 400 people literally shit themselves. And when it came out, and Megan, my wife, screamed this time around. She screamed that time. She was with me, and Sam behind me screamed, which is Dan's missus. And yeah, there was good reaction. And I think even though it's coming, and there were still people in the movies that knew it was that was going to happen, it's just that tension that's built. It's such a good scene.
Well, I think the thing is, you think the shark's going to come.
Yeah,
that's what you're waiting for, like from behind him, and then all of a sudden,
Mate, just quietly. One, why are they out in the night? Right? Why are they out in the middle of the night? And two, fuck that. I am not getting in the water if that shark's around.
Yeah, old Dreyfus was the bravest.
He's the biggest, mate. He's
the
got
bravest man in cinema.
his balls
Ah.
are way bigger than his teeth. He's got Gow's baby teeth. There's no doubt. It was mentioned on the night from our wonderful host here with us about the lack of teeth that Dreyfus has, and it is Gow. Gow could play Dreyfus quite easily. Yeah, yeah. Look, I loved it. It's arguably my favourite movie. It's I've probably seen Star Wars more than it, but it's becoming a photo finish. This is the movie that I watch the most now.
And what is it for you that makes it so?
Mate, it's everything. It's the escape, it's the chase, it's the horror, it's the tension. It's the perfect movie for me. It's perfectly made. And it's the backstory. Like I got so much content about the making of the film. I've got 3 books about the making of the movie. I've got this video. I've got the VHS there on the wall. I've got countless DVDs. I've watched everything you can possibly watch. An excellent, which we'll talk about a bit later on, but an excellent documentary that's just been released is Jaws at 50, which is, if you've got Disney Channel, it's on the Disney Channel, and it interviews all the Spielberg and a host of different directors that it had an effect with, like J.J. Abrams, Steven Soderbergh, James Cameron. It interviews all these movie stars as well. And it's just the effect that the movie had, and I think that's it. It's the romance of film. It's how it can change people's lives.
And what had Spielberg done before that?
He'd only done. It was his second feature film. He'd done the Sugarland Express, which was the starred Goldie Hawn the year before, and he'd also done.
Goldie Hawn in the 70s.
Oh my god! But he was 27 when he directed Jaws.
Right.
He'd been directing since he was 21, but he'd been directing TV series and TV movies. And obviously he directed Jewel, which was have you seen Jewel, the one where it's the truck? Well, you need to watch it. It's amazing. So,
do you want to go now?
not now. But there's a guy in a car and he's being effectively chased on the highway by a big rig.
I think maybe I've seen it.
And that was a made-for-TV film. And, mate, it was just so obvious. And some of the shots that he got in that, it's just so obvious that this guy was just going to be, again, arguably one of the greatest to ever do it. Like Spielberg's got to be in the top 5 directors of all time.
Yeah.
Like he has to be.
Well, the diversity as well. Like,
and sure, he's done his later catalog's not been ideal, but his run from Jaws all the way through to the early 2000s is incredible. You know, and it would have to be, and not only that, he's producing as well. Like he produced movies like Back to the Future, and you know, like is
it true that Schindler's List was going to be called Jews, but they were worried that it'd get confused?
Wow.
We can always cut that out.
No, well, we'll keep it in. People need to know the real Paul. But look. But Schindler's List, he made Jurassic Park and Schindler's List in the same year. He was doing post-production on Jurassic Park while he's filming Schindler's List.
Well, you can see the crossover.
Exactly. And just imagine just being able to flick a switch and go from popcorn cinema at the height of popcorn cinema with Jurassic Park, which is, again, and people will argue, and Morgs will probably disagree with me, it's one of the greatest movies. Like what it did in regards to CGI, practical effects, is just incredible. It was the first. It was the start.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was like the Jaws of the CGI.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. But then to switch it and go to Schindler's List, which was just incredibly powerful and obviously incredibly personal for him. Just an incredible human being.
I think the thing is with Spielberg, because when he was making Jaws, he had a beard. He's looked like he's 45.
No, he didn't have a beard making Jaws.
Did he not?
No, he was clean shaven.
Oh, okay.
But and this is the thing, but I think he had a beard making like Raiders and
right. Okay,
through the 80s he had a beard, but when he's making Jaws, he's a young man.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, I think what we'll do, there was a trailer done just so people can get up to speed. And for those of you that haven't seen Jaws, we're just going to play the 50th anniversary trailer for Jaws. We've got a few videos this episode, to be honest, but this is the first one. Hold on.
It's a beautiful day. The beaches are open, and people are having a wonderful time.
Amity is a summer town. I don't think you appreciate the gut reaction people have to these things. You yell barracuda, you're racist, huh? You yell shark, we've got a panic on our hands on the 4th of July.
There we go.
Good trailer. I think they made a mistake there, though.
Okay.
They shouldn't have shown the shark.
Yeah, but everyone's seen the shark, though. It's 50 years old.
Yeah, but I think that could have been just like his reaction without seeing the shark.
Yeah.
Because it's 45 minutes into the film before you see the shark.
Yeah.
And I just think, I think they should have left the shark out in that. But good trailer.
No, fair. It's a good trailer. Yeah, no, I can hear that. Thoughts on the trailer, Dan?
I tend to agree with Paul on that one. I know that we'll probably talk about it later, but as far as my daughter was there as well, she's only 13. It was her first time seeing it. And when we were talking about it the next day, the scariest part for her was the opening sequence with the girl swimming and the dark. That's got no shark. That's all imagination on what the shark is doing to her, knowing that the movie's Jaws. So she found that terrifying.
Yeah, no, and that's all by accident. It's a happy accident because the shark, obviously, everyone knows the shark didn't work, so he had to make do with what he had. So a lot of that stuff is, there were two people that scene. There were like two people on the beach with ropes and pulleys that were pulling her different directions.
Because that's the thing about that scene.
Yeah.
That it doesn't look, the way that she moves around doesn't seem like she's being attacked by, It almost looked like
doesn't look like the Egyptian guy that got eaten by the tiger shark the other year.
See that?
No, that was brutal.
Right.
Yeah.
But she almost, I didn't know about the ropes. I thought she was kind of standing and just like running backwards and forwards.
No, she was being pulled. She did a back. She got a back injury she was wearing a brace.
Right.
But no, I agree. I think the parts without the shark are the best parts. And we talked about this morning actually about, you were questioning some of the music with the chase. And I love that whole bit where you're chasing a barrel. There's no fucking shark. You're just chasing this barrel, and the barrels, obviously, they are the best. The barrels and the music are two of the best practical effects to signify a character that's not there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just brilliantly done.
Yeah.
Okay, critical thinking very quickly. IMDb 8.1 out of 10. Certified fresh 97% and 90%. So very well rated, not surprising. It was the highest grossing movie in the world until Star Wars knocked it off its perch a couple of years later. Created the blockbuster. Lines around the block. It was just mental. Steven Spielberg actually released the movie, went to Hawaii because he was afraid of what it might look like. Got a phone call on the first day saying, "You need to come back. This is ridiculous." So he turned up, got in a car, drove around, and there were just lines everywhere for Jaws. So it would have been, I reckon that would have been an amazing time. Like that 70s, like to see that with, you had Jaws and then you had Star Wars 2 years later where the world just went off its chain.
Just imagine if Spielberg had gone to Hawaii and got attacked by a shark.
Jaws 2. Jaws 2. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the cinema effect, seeing this movie in the cinemas, which was nice. It was a nice big screen, beautiful recliners. I've got to say, Tweed City Hoyts is pretty good.
Yeah, it's good, yeah.
The cinema
situation's a bit fucked.
Well, not really. Not if you use half your brain. So on this, Paul, did you hear about this, Dan?
I did.
Yeah. So Paul parked in the Toyota dealership car park and had his car.
Dark. I didn't realize.
Had his car locked in for 2 days. So luckily, Megan was still hanging around and
saved me an $80 Uber.
Yeah, it was going to be $80. Jesus. Okay, well.
She only charged me 20.
We'll be tacking that onto our But the great cinemas, the world's biggest drinks. So I bought what was a jumbo Pepsi Max and could not finish it. Cost $13.20. Could not finish it. I think it was over a litre of drink. It was so big. Everyone was, and a few people bought them, and none of them could finish it.
Wow.
But well worth the trip. If you were on the Gold Coast, I'd be heading down to, I'm going to spend some time down at Tweed Hoyt City. Yeah. Tweed City Hoyts. Tweed Hoyt City. It's excellent. It's well worth it. And, there was hardly anyone there, which made it even better.
Yeah, it was good seeing it on the cinema, just because those like shots where you're like, you know, on the boat and it's just water.
Yeah.
Like, the effect of like that kind of.
Well, I think the interesting thing is that, like, so it's obviously 50-year-old movie. Looked incredible on the big screen. Like, it didn't look 50 years old. But it's the, and Dan, I'm going to go to you, being our resident expert in the film industry. You've got a 50-year-old movie. You're seeing it on the big screen. What's your expectation? Like, what are you thinking you're going to see?
Well, I think people would have noticed how beautiful it looked and probably not understood what we understand is that was shot on chemical film process. So that's why it's so different to what you're used to. Now, I don't go to the movies to watch that Marvel shot that you were talking about before, but the difference and the beauty of a film shot on film, and we've talked ad nauseum in the past about how difficult it was for directors and cinematographers. Basically, it was a hit and hope. They had to frame everything up, and they didn't know until they got the dailies the next day or the day after that what they had captured and if it was in focus and if they had managed to nail exactly what the director envisaged in his mind and capturing it onto this film process. But I agree with both of you. It looked amazing, and to see it in that scale on the big screen it just reminded me of us as kids. That was how we consumed our media. Like, there wasn't internet, there wasn't Netflix, there wasn't widescreen TVs at home. There was, I mean, you remember the joke of a TV I had in my lounge room. It was about 13 centimeters. Like, in order to see a movie, you had to go and view it under these circumstances. And it is a shame that I don't go more often, but that kids probably won't go at all. I mean, it's maybe a school holidays time. You go and see the latest Blockbuster just to kill a bit of time if it's raining for my kids. But other than that, there's no reason for them to go to the movies. Whereas that was if not a weekly event for us, it was certainly a couple of times a month minimum that we would trundle off to either Royal Mustakas at Collaroy or Warriewood or down to Warringah Mall and see films how they were meant to be shown, which is on those giant screens.
Yeah, there were 2 or 3 shots that just blew me away. There's a scene, I think, where Quint shot the first barrel and he's out on the gantry right on the end and he's just leaning back and it's just the sun setting and it's just this.
Oh, beautiful.
It's incredibly beautiful, the shot. Like, and it's like you don't get that anymore. You don't get that with digital. You don't get that. It feels almost you seem to be immersed in it. It's just, and that blew me away. And a couple other shots when he's up on the top and he's looking down on the boat and Hooper's playing solitaire and the chief is doing his knot. It's just the scale of I'm seeing it on the big screen. Just for me, took it to another level, and that nostalgia. I think you're right, Dan. It was it, and I'm different to you two, right? I think because I walked in there already before the movie had started, absolutely loving what was happening, and I think, but you know, for you, Paul, you know, seeing it on the big screen, did it make you feel anything different about the movie, or the way, you know, did it evoke any emotions of nostalgia or?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, because I mean, I used to watch that a couple of times as a kid, like with my dad, but it is very different watching it on I mean, the TVs that we would have had when we were kids were probably this big, you know, like the screen would have been that size. Like the shark, like I said, that kind of sense of being that isolation, you know, like when they're on the boat and it's just like, they're stuck, you know, he's fucking smashed the radio, like they're on their own, you know, and that sense of kind of dread was more, you know, on the big screen
For sure.
than watching it on TV. Yeah. And then, you know, his missus, like, that kind of helps as well.
Well, but I think there is something about seeing a movie with a group of people.
Yeah.
Right. And this is what I think is really sad is that, you know, Morgs, you mentioned it, that, you know, people just don't go to the cinemas the way they used to or as often as they used to. Now, I think there is nothing better than going to a movie with a full packed house, and riding the wave of emotion that the film's trying to evoke from you, right? So
but the thing is, these days, like, when's the last time a film like Jaws would have come out where everybody is seeing it for the first time and is jumping at the same time? Like, what would it have? I mean, there's some horror. I think you told me about it with a was it some new horror film?
Not Weapons.
No, oh, you were telling me about that, but there's another one where the mouths are is it together? Together, yeah. And like last time I went to the cinema, the trailer for that was on, and everybody was. You could feel the tension just watching the trailer.
Yeah,
I've not seen the film, but it looks fucking horrific.
Yeah, it's pretty full on.
But that's not going to be. That's not something that they're not going to show that in 50 years' time.
No, they're not. You know, the closest thing in modern day, and Morgs will laugh at me, but the closest thing in modern day was Avengers Endgame for me.
Right.
So, and that was 2018, 2019, one of them, and 2018, I think. And the reason being is that it was. I saw it twice on the first day. In the morning, it was half full. At night, it was completely chock-a-block. And everyone was so into it. So into it. It's like the beats that the Russo brothers wanted to evoke from the crowd were being evoked. When the guys came through the portals, for the final battle and Spider-Man turned back up, like the crowd just went mental. When Captain America picked up the Mjolnir, the hammer, the crowd went mental. Like that's as close as I could get to what I would think it would have been like seeing The Exorcist, seeing Jaws, seeing Star Wars, where the crowd is like seeing this stuff for the first time. Yeah. The only difference is that you
balls.
No. I'm gonna
absolute balls.
No, it didn't suck balls, Daniel. But the only thing is that with those movies in the 70s and the 80s, you are legitimately seeing this stuff for the first time.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas with say, Avengers Endgame, it's manufactured. Like, they have spent 10 years manufacturing to get that emotion. I'm sure when people saw Alien and saw these movies and they saw these shit for the first time, that it was like when people saw The Exorcist, they were throwing up in the cinema. Right? Now, sure, it was a different time, but you're not going to get that anymore because effectively...
Oh, no, I disagree. I mean, to see Avengers, man, Ragnarok, as it being the 26th film in the sequence, this suspense must have just been a crowd. I just wish I was in that cinema with you watching that fucking movie. Like, it must have been incredible. Give me a break. You cannot possibly be comparing film 26 in the Marvel Snoresaverse to the movies you've described prior to that.
I'm not. But what I'm saying is there's something that is similar.
You said you jazzed your pantaloons exactly the same
I didn't say that.
Avengers,
I said the closest it has come
to
is that.
Right.
That's the only thing that I can recall that it would be as close to that. Now, there's nothing
so we
else.
talked about that beautiful shot you described where it's the boat and it's the sun. There is how can you compare that to a CGI portal?
No, I'm not comparing. I'm not comparing that.
Spider-Man coming through and all of you dorks going, yay! Like, what do you fucking mean?
I'm not comparing the quality of the film.
The closest experience I've ever had was when Thor wasn't fat anymore and came back and saved all of humanity. Like, why? What? And you even know what his fucking hammer was called. His His mom's
Mate, I know
there.
that he's irrelevant to life.
Do you know what? I don't listen to this shit show very often, but I was driving somewhere the other day. I think that was to come and see you. And I tuned into Rogue One. Now, let me say that I do agree that as far as the absolute crap fest that was all of the sequels, Rogue One's actually not bad. And I haven't seen it many times, but I did enjoy it when I saw it. But listening to the dork fest of you three speaking about, the lightsaber was made of Ethereal stone and Watarian gems, like, what do you, but that's why Gen X has a bad name for you three fucking dorks. Like, I get it, but Sloan Nixon especially, like, Sloan's not a dork. He's a great surfer. He's a good snowboarder. He's not a fucking dork. But listening to him crap on about the books of the Star Wars universe, I mean, you guys need to get out more. There, I've said my piece. How's your mum?
Fucking hell. God, what a rant. What a rant. So anyway, moving on. Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate the input and appreciate that you the only times you listen to our podcast is just to rip into the other people that are on it.
Oh, no.
So
When I have to burn hours and I've got through all the good podcasts, I will circle back to this one for sure.
Excellent. I appreciate it. Look, so in a nutshell, there is nothing in modern days that compares to what would have happened in the 70s and the early 80s for that being first, people seeing stuff first.
Yeah. And Top Gun Maverick. I think Top Gun Maverick is a recent film that I think was, as far as harnessing that nostalgia and paying off with what was an excellent cinema experience. I think it can be done. I think that Avatar for a lot of people would provide a similar experience. A lot of people, doesn't include me, because I think the blue people, the fact that he's making 5 films of giant blue people.
The new one comes out this year.
Yeah. Probably won't go and see that. But it's a pop culture moment, and I can understand that. Similarly to in an age where you can't hide content. Sorry, Paul.
No. Sorry. Go on.
I'm just saying it's in an age where we're exposed to content before it's released, unlike back in the day when we had no idea what it was going to be, apart from a movie trailer that we would see watching another trailer, which was, and that was kind of cool in the experience as well, seeing the upcoming movie trailers, even though I probably wouldn't go and see them. It was a fun experience to remember. That's how we found out about new movies back in the day, was seeing it pre-screening of whatever movie we were seeing. But I think there are some cinematic events that will still occur in the future, but they're very few and far between. And Marvel 26 is certainly not one of them.
Yeah, okay.
I think I know what you're saying about the Top Gun Maverick, but that is kind of the nostalgia, because everyone remembers the first
Top Gun.
Whereas Jaws was like,
just
Jaws. He's on his own
for
merit.
sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Oh, look, I think, and look, and there's an argument, and look, this is my ultimate dream. But what broke my heart as well is I would love to have a cinema that just shows classic films.
Well, you start
one, right?
It's
well,
funny.
Right?
Yeah, I totally agree. And I was looking pre-podcast at the schedule for the New Beverly for over the couple of weeks. So let me just read out what he's showing at the New Beverly. So this is, of course, Quentin Tarantino's film that he kept and restored. So over the next few weeks, he's showing a double shot of Lost in Translation and Tokyo Pop. Barry Lyndon, Jackie Brown, Blood Diner, Face Off. He's showing on the big screen. There Will Be Blood, From Russia with Love, which on a Technicolor print. Yeah, great Bond. A whole heap of films that Boogie Nights he's showing, and he does a whole lot of double features on there. He's doing Reservoir Dogs and Thelma and Louise as a double feature. So I think there is, if you created a cinema that showed these old movies in restored prints or updated prints, Mulholland Drive, Magnolia, just really interesting films that I personally, that would get me to the cinema a hell of a lot more often than it does now.
Well, I'll tell you what, like the music that I play it's like having a resurgence. But the reason it's having a resurgence is because a lot of the people that I used to DJ to 25 years ago have then gone and had kids, but their kids have grown up. So when I play now, you've got people that are our age, like mid 40s through to mid 50s,
Yep,
that are coming out, but you could have the same thing with the cinema. The people that saw the
totally
films,
agree.
25, 30 years ago, then.
And look, I've seen Aliens in the cinema in the last sort of 10 years. I've seen Alien. I've seen obviously the Star Wars. Morgs, we did a Star Wars marathon at Hayden Orpheum at Cremorne in Sydney, which is another great cinema that shows a lot of retro films. We did 4, 5, 6 Star Wars. Spent 10 hours in the cinemas, which was awesome with a packed cinema. I'd love to be able to do that. That would be a dream, to like have a born to watch cinema, or have and I'm even been contemplating doing, trying to organize a monthly viewing at a cinema of a vintage or retro movie, and do that as a monthly thing, and have like a membership where people could come and, come watch the movie, hang out, people with the same sort of mindset, have a bit of fun. I think that'd be really, really cool. And the more people that I talk to about it, the more people say, yeah, that'd be cool. The problem is that it makes me concerned that people aren't doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Why has it been tried and it didn't work very well?
Why isn't someone doing it already? And so does it mean that you have to be the first and do it? But the concerning thing is that we went to a 6:45 session on a Saturday night for Jaws' 50th anniversary, and we had 45 tickets in our group, and there was about 10 other people in that cinema.
Yeah, it's a good point. Good point.
So that's concerning right now, which makes me think, well, maybe it's not something that could be, a full-time gig, but maybe twice a month, I think you might be able to get 50 or 60 people together to watch a movie that's a retro film. That might have some legs.
I've got some thoughts on this. We'll talk about it later.
Okay. But to see those retro films on the big screen the way that they are meant to be seen, and to especially movies that you have not seen before on the big screen, like The Exorcist or, The Thing, like these just quality movies that were made before our time, that we were able to see them on the big screen. I think that'd be just fucking epic. And
I think you made a really good point about the lack of uptake for this particular film other than our group on Saturday night. So the as far as ticket sales for the cinema industry, so COVID decimated it, and it hasn't gone back. The earnings haven't gone back to pre-COVID levels yet, but it is actually approaching it. But it's through an increase in per head spend rather than amount of tickets sold. So they've got smarter at making the cinemas license. So we enjoyed a couple of beers when we were watching the film, and we never would have done that back in the day because you couldn't do it. You can buy actually substantial meals, pizzas, etc., to go and watch a film. Then you couldn't do that back in the day. So the chains have had to be a lot smarter about how they draw more of our hard-earned out of us when we go into the cinema, because the volume of ticket sales just aren't there anymore. So I think you're right. I think that they would have tried these retro viewings before, Jaws being one of them, 50th Jaws. But the fact that there were so few at the cinema might suggest that in Australia, at least, unless it's had the cinema itself is a draw card like the New Beverly in LA, it might be difficult to sustain it.
But I guess then I thought about it also, is that Jaws this showed for a week. So Jaws was in cinemas for a week. Now, if you were to have one session or two sessions, maybe then you get, because when we did the 40th anniversary at Randwick Ritz, it was one session.
Clever.
It showed once. And so they booked their biggest cinema, 400 people, bang, 400 seats sold. And that was months in advance that was done. So I think, was the celebration for the week great? Yep, absolutely. Could it? And look, reading about it, it's done over $10 million in box office on this run. Right.
In Australia,
in America, it did over $10 million in box office. I'm not sure what the numbers are in Australia. So, like, it's a worthy go, right?
Absolutely.
An extra 10 mil, it's great. But look, I think that it's something that I want to research and look at, and maybe look at doing something in terms of a retro movie club for born to watch, or for anyone else that wanted to be involved. I think that would be really cool.
So I think one of the other revenue streams that didn't exist when we were young too, that the American chains especially have tapped into memorabilia. So that is a huge line item for now in their P&Ls. They're selling a whole lot of referencing the amazing piece that you got for your birthday that you may be able to pan and show everyone later in the piece. But to be able to, I think that's something that I would go along if I was going along to a nostalgia film and there was an opportunity to buy something like that. That would definitely help support the spend and maybe make it a little bit more worthwhile for the cinemas to show these retro nights.
Yeah. Perfect. So crowd dynamic, we've sort of touched on it, but I'd like to, I know that for me, my kids saw this movie far too young. And have seen it a lot, but both of them, it was the first time that they'd seen it on the big screen. And I know that Isabel loved it, and she loves Jaws anyway, but she really enjoyed it. Now, Paul, I know your partner, Sarah, she is not fond of older movies. No. She's, modern musicals is her go-to, really.
Yep.
If I was playing Hamilton, she probably would come to see it 30 times. But for someone like Sarah,
well, the 20-year rule doesn't apply to musicals.
Oh, of course not.
Yeah.
Sound of Music is big.
Yeah.
But how did she?
No, she actually enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And then the night after, she's like, "Oh, let's watch this. A film from '96."
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's 30 years.
Yeah. Maybe
she's really breaching out.
Yeah.
What was the movie from '96?
Eye for an Eye.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Sally Field. A good rape movie.
Kiefer Sutherland. Yeah.
A good rape movie on a Saturday night.
On the rape.
That's what you want to watch.
Yeah. Like, fucking hell, what happened to 24? I didn't realise he did this as well.
Yeah, he's also the bad guy in A Time to Kill. He's one of the, isn't he?
Well, he's the bad guy.
He's the bad guy in A Time to Kill.
I don't know that film, but the one with the phone booth.
Oh, he used to. He's the voice, isn't he?
Yeah.
Colin Farrell. 80 minutes in a phone box.
Yeah.
High cinema. Yeah.
Good film, though.
It's not bad. It's not bad. Now, Dan, you mentioned Eloise seeing it for the first time. Now, you left Emily, your youngest, at home for fear of PTSD. But Emily's 13. You said she found the scariest part to be the first bit. But overall, did she have a good time?
Yeah, we spent the car ride home explaining that it was a fake shark and that's not how sharks work in the wild. Because unlike you guys, they love surfing and they're right into it, both my daughters. And Emily, my youngest, wasn't there. Yeah. So it did freak them out a bit. And I had to explain that, no, unless you live in Ballinashire, like Plims, then you're not going to get chomped by a shark up this way. So yeah, that was the only confronting bit, was making sure that we could distinguish between real life and Bruce the shark and his exploits back in Amity back in the day.
But your wife, Sam, was literally on the edge of her seat.
The jump scares. It was like Spielberg. His craft was evident in her screams, because all of the jump scares worked. And old Benny Gardner, when his head was flashed, well, I was sitting next to her, and that was a profound jump scare success for Spielberg. So yeah, she enjoyed it like everyone in 1975 would have enjoyed it. And I think that was great.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I know that Gow's wife, Chrissy, had never seen the movie.
Right.
So it was the first time for her seeing it. And she came up to me afterwards and she said, this was awesome. I really enjoyed it. I would never have watched it unless I was forced to. Yeah. She was even contemplating sitting in the foyer for the movie. Yeah, she's a P-heart.
She's a what?
She's a P-heart. She's soft,
right.
soft. But she watched it.
Do you think she would enjoy watching her husband back in the day toweling up tens in the trailer park in Williams Lake in British Columbia, Canada? I mean, she didn't get to see that either, but she might enjoy it.
Oh, I think she's seen some of it. I think she's felt some of it.
No, but she doesn't get a side-on view. She's up close and personal with it.
She's seen those teeth in 3D.
That's it, and he's not as pleasing to the eye he was back in the day. So yeah, she might be interested in what young hot gal was doing back then.
Somehow I think she probably won't be, and
let's hope she never watches this episode.
well,
Yeah.
it's going back to the time that that Morgs was actually talking in a group setting to quite a few of us about Gow slaying with Chrissy involved in the conversation about Gow, and he goes, "Oh yeah, Chrissy, Gow used to root hot birds." And I've looked at him, Chrissy's looked at him, and I go, "Used to root hot birds."
It was very poor syntax on my part. I, of course, didn't say he wasn't still doing so, but yeah, I could have phrased it a lot better.
You meant he used to root other hot birds.
That's exactly what I meant. There
That's
was a key term that the qualifying term was removed, and it became very funny, awkward. So yeah, well played, me.
Yeah. No, look, I think that all the kids there, and there were, probably six or seven kids that were under the age of maybe 13, 14. They all loved it. They all came up to me.
No one was crying at the end.
No one was crying. So they all loved it. It all hit the beats. And a lot of those kids had seen it. The Nixon kids, they've seen a lot of creature features, and they loved it. They loved seeing it on the big screen. So look, if you ever get a chance to see it on the big screen, definitely.
The Nixon kids.
Sloan Bones, who's been on the podcast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Lily and Kai. They've both been brought up on a heavy diet of creature features.
Okay. No, the Nixon kids sound like people who will end up in prison when they're older.
Well, not those two, I don't think.
Okay,
not those two, I don't think.
Can I just compare quickly to so my kids haven't seen adult content or too much of it growing up, and certainly my youngest Emily hasn't. So to compare her viewing experiences to say Belle's Whitey's kid, she watched Paddington in Peru with her friends that she stayed over with, and the mother of the two friends of hers said that Emily got a little scared when the voice was a little bit scary in Paddington in Peru. So I don't think she's quite ready for Jaws just yet.
No. But what I am now looking forward to is the new line has been drawn up on the land. So, and I mentioned this to Sam afterwards, that I got in trouble the last, maybe not the last time, but one of the last couple of times I've been up on the land. I put Big Trouble in Little China on in the lounge room and was just thinking, nothing of it. This is, fantasy, fun, let's have a laugh. And suddenly the kids start to come out and they start watching, and Sam gives me the famous Samantha side eye. And I quickly turned it off. And I said to her on Saturday night, I said, "Thank you, Sam, for drawing a new line in the sand. That if they're allowed to watch Jaws, Big Trouble in Little China is going up next time we're there."
So you've broken down barriers, and I do appreciate that.
Yeah, that's what
it's funny when you put a film on and you kind of forget there's bits in it, and then a couple of seconds before something happens, you're like,
"Oh shit!"
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Well, and Megan always used to rip into me about what I'd let Isabel watch, and it quite rightfully so. Yeah, rightfully so in some instances. Like The Shining may have been one step too far, but I couldn't handle the nagging anymore. So I was like, okay, if you think you're ready to watch it, let's watch it. I don't think she was ready to watch it. I think she may have regretted it, but she sat through it. But the other night, I'd been out somewhere and I came home and the kids, Megan and Belle and Luke, were in Luke's room and they were watching a movie. And we must have been recording the podcast. And so I finished, I go upstairs to have dinner and I hear Isabel go, "Mum, oh my God." So I go, "What have you been watching?" So they watched Will Ferrell's Get Hard with Kevin Hart, where he is preparing him to go to prison.
You used to got to get that guy a blowjob.
Yeah, so there's a penis in it. And all I hear is Isabel coming out of the room going, "I just saw a penis. I just saw a penis." And I hear Megan going, "It was fake. It was fake." Right? So anyway, they didn't watch all of it. They watched like 2/3 of it. So the next night we sit down to have dinner and we go, "Let's watch the last third of Get Hard," because, we've got to finish it now. So at the end of the movie, in the credit scene, the dick pops up again.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, and so Megan's just sitting there. So then the new line had been drawn. So then the next night, I think we watched Step Brothers. Yeah, and which I didn't is nowhere near as bad as what Get Hard is in terms of watching your young daughter watch.
Yeah,
but now the new line's been drawn. I'm very happy with it. Yeah. Got a little question time here, just very quick. Paul, we'll start with you. Seeing the movie in the cinema, does it change the way you feel about it? Like it anymore?
No, I think I do like it more.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's definitely, because it's years since I've seen it.
Yeah.
So, like, I saw it a lot when I was younger, but it's probably 20 years since I've seen it. But yeah, it's awesome.
Okay, cool. Dan, what about you? You're on mute again, mate.
Sorry, what was the question?
Fuck me.
He turned his headphones off.
Yeah, no, he's fucked. He's fucked. Just seeing it in the cinema, did it change the way you feel about Jaws before?
I really enjoyed it, but I don't have that overwhelming love for the film as you do. So it was more the experience that I really enjoyed. So I remembered the most iconic scene for me was when the guy's leg gets chomped off and it slowly drops.
Yeah.
So that was a vivid memory for me from watching this film. So that was great to see it. But I just really enjoyed how beautifully it was shot, and the banter between the three of them when they're on the boat and certain parts in the film, and the fact that it was on a big screen. That was more important to me than the actual film itself.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, actually, that part where they kind of bond.
That's awesome.
That's like a good.
I really enjoyed that. Yeah.
The whole story he tells about the 1100.
Yeah, Indianapolis
Is
speech.
that like a true?
That's a true story.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So I've actually got a video about the making of that. So there's been a lot of conjecture about the making of that scene, but we'll get to that in Good, the Bad, the Ugly. So in terms of it's Quentin Tarantino has arguably called it the greatest movie ever made. It's known as one of the greatest films. Where do you think it sits? Do you think it's like is it a top 50 movie of all time? Top 20 movie of all time? Where do you think it sits?
Yeah, I mean, I think just for originality and sort of breaking ground, like it did, like nothing had been done like it before.
Yeah. No, nothing.
So it'd have to be top 10.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Morgs?
I agree with Paul. I think that it's more what it did for cinema, inventing the blockbuster, the great practical effects that it did, rather than, for me, it's not in my top 20 that I would go to, but I can really appreciate what it's done for cinema.
Yeah, sweet. Now, we've probably touched on this, but favourite, Paul, we'll start with you, favourite part of the movie?
This is going to sound stupid, but one of my favourite bits is where... I forget what's
Brody.
Brody. He's trying to get his deputy's attention.
Oh yeah, his deputy's such a numbskull. It's awesome.
I don't think I'd ever seen that bit before. I think because it's on a big screen, I kind of noticed it more.
Yeah, he throws the stones at the window.
That's it.
And Hendrix just gives him the thumbs up. Get in here! He's got a durry. He's got a smoke.
Oh, he's
got a cigarette. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
I tell you what, there's a lot of people holding cigarettes in this movie. Not many people smoking them. That's the other thing I noticed as well this time around. That because Hendrix holds a cigarette a lot. Yeah. He doesn't quite smoke it, and same as Brody. Brody holds a smoke a lot, doesn't quite smoke it.
Yeah, I noticed he had a couple of, and then just threw it away.
Yeah. Dan, what about you? Favorite part scene?
Just the opening sequences. I talked about it before, but with the young girl that goes out swimming, I thought the dread that captured really set up the film for me, and I was concerned about my daughter's take on it then, and I was like, oh God, how's she going to enjoy this? But I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah, awesome. And do you have and Paul, favorite character?
I really like Quint until he smashes that. I'll just think, you fucking idiot.
He's Ahab.
I get it. But it's just like...
You're certifiable, Quint. I think Quint is obviously... If you want to play a character, I think Quint's the best character.
Yeah.
It's got the most meat on the bone, I think. But yeah, it's... So he's going to go with Quint? Yeah. Okay. Dan, favorite character?
It was Quinn for me previously, but Hooper this time around, I really enjoyed what Richard Dreyfuss was doing and how integral he was and some of the moments of levity that he brought. And really enjoyed. I thought he played it perfectly.
Yeah. The guy that I hate is Larry Vaughn. The mayor.
The mayor, yeah.
But
he's a slimy, he's brilliant. Yeah.
He is so fucking good.
Yeah.
And he's the performance that I appreciated the most this time around. I just think him in front of the sign, you'd like that, wouldn't you? Get yourself into the National Geographic. Like, he's just such a dick. Yeah. And I love it when Brody confronts him in the hospital and says, well, you're the mayor of Shark City. The people think you want the beaches open. Sign the fucking sheet, mate. I just think he is so good.
His voice winds me up. He sounds like a Simpsons character.
Yeah.
Like his voice is fucking weird.
It's awesome. It's awesome. Okay, well done, gents. Now, very, very quick, abbreviated, good, bad, ugly. I want one good from everyone, and I'm sure there's no bads or uglies, but we might have some. But Morgs, you got a good?
Just the overall print on the big screen, I was just captivated by how beautiful everything looked, and I just longed for the age of chemical film processing and how films were shot, and just thinking how painful it must have been for all the film crews to work under those conditions, but how brilliant it was. And I mentioned it in Rambo First Blood 2, the Second Blood the other week, but it's just a different way to shoot film, like to be in the jungle with those massive lights and huge cameras and not quite knowing what you're capturing until you receive the dailies in a couple of days. It just blows my mind that that's how films were used to produce, whereas now you can point an iPhone 15 at something and pretty much have a cinematic experience captured by everyone. So it's certainly come a long, long way.
Paul? Good.
The music.
Yep.
Yeah. It's one of those films.
Good call.
Like, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, or
iconic.
The training montage on Rocky IV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turn the sound down and watch it. Ridiculous.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like if you do that with Jaws, it's like a David Attenborough.
Yeah.
But then with the music on, it's just and it's two notes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
It's fucking nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Are there any contemporary music directors that you really like in film, like Trent Reznor? All the stuff that he does with David Fincher, I find that I'm not a score nerd like Whitey and Damo are by any stretch. I certainly won't be driving along in my car listening to scores. Oh my God, the more I think about it, the more you guys are fucking dorks. But is there anyone, Paul, that you really love, being obviously a musician yourself? Is that anyone that you really think, fuck, that is just an incredible soundscape that you've created for that film?
Well, I do have to say, I'll often listen to Hans Zimmer while I'm working.
That's interesting.
Man.
Yeah.
If I'm going to write, there's a thing called the Mozart effect, and it's not specific to Mozart. It's just classical music. When I used to, in my previous businesses, I used to do like daily emails. So when I had the gyms and I had a fitness music business, and then I had like a membership for that fitness music business as well. So I had 3 emails, and when I say emails, they were like blog posts that I'd write and then send out. So because I was in Australia, so I'd spend all day writing these emails, and I'd find something in the news to inspire me, or there'd be something that would be like a trigger that I'd then write about. And I'd spend hours writing these things, and then they'd go out as emails every day. But when you listen to classical music, and it's like you type with the music, so as the music gets more intense, it's like you're playing a keyboard, but you're typing. And it's called the Mozart effect. So if you're doing anything creative, listening to classical music, and obviously Hans Zimmer would be, I guess, kind of classical music. So that would be my thing. So I'm as nerdy as him when it comes to the music.
Oh no, that's interesting to know. Yeah, I also really appreciate what you said before about our generation getting back into dance events and I guess old school sort of house music, and finding it and discovering it again and going out. I know that they're tailoring events to the commitments that we may have with kids and everything, and finishing events at 10, 11 p.m. rather than 6 a.m. Yeah, which is, I think, it's just brilliant and a way for us to go and have that experience, but still be adults the next day.
Well, that's it. When I went back to England and did the 25th birthday for the residency that I used to have. The guy that gave me my big break in when I was DJing.
Yep.
In 2000, it was the 25th birthday last year, and because his event had started in '99, and then I started playing for him in 2000. And my sister's like, "Oh, we'd love to come and see you, but we've got the kids. We've got to be up in the morning." I'm like, "I'm playing 9 till 10." She's like, "Oh, right." So I called Tom and put my sister on the guest list, and they came down, and that's exactly right. But it's like these people have had 10, 15, 20 years away from the events because of family life and stuff. But like I played in Adelaide last weekend, and I played, well, that was a bit later. I played 11 till 1, but there was people there that were coming up to me saying that they used to come and see me play in Adelaide in 2001, 2002, and people were introducing me to their kids. "Oh, this is my son, this is my daughter," and they were there with them. So, and the other thing as well, we had a guy on my podcast a couple of weeks ago, and he was saying about how the younger generation now, they're all there with the phones, and they're not really dancing, they're not engaging, they're just there to film stuff. But I've got a video that I took while I was playing in Adelaide, and I need to send it to Brian actually just to show him, because I was playing one of the new tracks that I've made, and the crowd, no one's got the phones.
Oh, they're
all 40 odd years old, but like everyone's just like going crazy.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Well, Brian's now, he does no phone events.
No phone events.
Where they give a sticker, they sticker the cameras of the mobile phones as they walk into the venue. And
that's
you're allowed
fantastic. Like,
so
it's so sad. You look at the old festival footage of Big Day Out or whatever, Home Bake, whatever it may be, and no one's got a phone out. They're just right in the moment with whoever's on stage and playing. And
well, it's because back then they were on a Nokia 5210.
That's it, playing Snake.
Playing Snake.
Oh,
okay, just quickly, my good is the movie. It's just incredible. That's everything. But seeing it on the big screen is just, if you get a chance to do it, hopefully it's at a Born to Watch screening.
Yeah.
But if you get a chance to do it, see it on the big screen, because it will change your view of the movie. They just don't make movies like that anymore. I think that Paul, you mentioned earlier about the Indianapolis speech. It's got a quick video. It's not a quick video. It's like 2.5 minutes. Actually, I'm lying. It's 3 minutes. But this is Spielberg about the making of the Indianapolis speech and what went into that, because there's a lot of conjecture about who wrote it, how it was filmed, the state of Robert Shaw during the filming of it. So let's listen to this.
This was the second day of shooting. We got nothing the first day. Robert, who is an extraordinary actor, I mean, just extraordinary. We all knew he had a little bit of a drinking issue. And he did come to me and ask for my permission to have a few drinks before he shot the scene, because it was described that the boys were imbibing quite liberally, and they were, got to the point where they could giddily compare their battle scars. And I foolishly said, yeah, go ahead and have a couple of drinks. And, we all know we're not supposed to do that anywhere. And Robert went off and had some drinks. And then an hour went by, and we had the camera set up, and all of a sudden I saw Robert coming back on the ship, the Orca, from a support boat, and there were two crew members. One had him under one arm, the other had him on the other arm. And he was kind of walking, but he wasn't, his feet really weren't touching the ground. And they brought him into the set, and they plopped him down, at that table on the little red leatherette couch, and he sat there. And we tried the first take. We actually rolled on it. We had 2 cameras on Robert. And I've always felt that there's certain details and war stories that we all have about our movies that I shouldn't really deeply go into, but suffice to say that at about half an hour into that, I sent him back home, and where he slept it off and called me the next morning. My phone rang right in the middle of the night, and the hour of the wolf. He answered the phone. It was Robert. He was absolutely sober, and he was terrified that something terrible had happened that day, and that he kept saying, "Did I embarrass you? Please, I hope I didn't embarrass you." He was more concerned about embarrassing me, which I love him for. Wow. I love that was his reaction, that he was more concerned about me than he was for whatever he perceived himself doing. And I told him, no. I said, whenever you're ready, we'll do it again. So the next day he came prepared, completely sober, having edited, by the way, the scene that John Milius had written 10 pages of a monologue about the Indianapolis. And Howard came up with the idea, wrote a page, Milius wrote 10, Shaw brought it down to 5 pages, and in very few takes, we nailed it, just nailed it. 2 cameras on every shot, the isolated single of Roy, and we finished that whole scene in a day. We were done by the end of the day. And it was just an amazing experience for me because, once again, for all of you who have done theater, I haven't, but I'm sure some of you have, it was like that. It was like theater. It was like watching 3 great performers completely outranking, because all actors outrank directors once they start to speak. Once they start to speak, we are minimalists, and we should remain that way if the speaking is good. We should get out of the way. The worst thing directors do sometimes is to try to get in the way of something that is only going to happen once. And if you stop it, you may never get it back again. And when I saw those guys in that first take start to perform, my job was just to keep quiet and just wait until they finished.
So there you have it, from the horse's mouth, that it was Milius wrote the bigger version. Robert Shaw, extremely embarrassed about his performance. Don't drink and drive, people. and edited it down, and away you go. You now got what you said. That scene is just, it's the heart and soul of the film, right?
Well, it's just funny how, not funny, but like how it's kind of Brody and Hooper are kind of aligned right from the beginning.
Yeah.
And he's like the outsider, and then just within a couple of minutes they've sort of all become mates, but then it just takes that darker turn.
Yeah.
And then obviously someone starts knocking on the door shortly after that.
Oh, it does. It does. Okay, so
that's probably my.
Okay, I think we're going to get to bad. So
Okay.
We'll go with you, Paul. What have you got for bad?
My bad would be the fact that shark can moonwalk and then go again and again.
Yeah, it does headbutt the boat very quickly.
Yeah.
But it might be it was slapping its tail. Maybe it was. Who knows?
But it can't be, because the tail would. It hits the. It's the
it
same.
does look
bit.
like a point.
Is the
Does
same
look like a
bit
point.
is going like that. It's
Yeah.
like it's being hit at the same point. So, yeah, it's unless it headbutt, then side and tail. But I don't.
Well, he's got he gets in reverse with the pectorals, back in again, pectorals back in again.
It's just that's not right. You know, like
No, it's not right.
You know,
But it's movie magic.
yeah,
We suspend disbelief.
yeah. So that would be the. That's the bad, isn't it? That's not.
That's bad.
Ugly comes later.
Ugly comes next. Yeah. Dan, anything for bad?
Yes, very similar. The original shot list that Spielberg must have envisaged that had Bruce the Shark much more prevalent in the film. It's the luckiest thing that's ever happened to any director ever that shark fucked out, because it would have been horrendous, the film, had Bruce featured more prominently. And the fact that instead he relied on that marvelous point of view, the shark's point of view, looking up at the legs of all the swimmers, and all of the other trick shots that he did to give us the feeling of a predator in its environment was so much better than anything he could have done with that shit-house shark. So very bad that Spielberg essentially got lucky and became the Steven Spielberg that we know and love, because had he produced the film the way he wanted it, I don't think we would have heard of him again.
Yeah, possible. He nearly got fired about 100 times on the shoot. So. I have nothing for bad. Ugly. Anyone got anything for ugly?
My ugly would be the mayor's voice.
Larry Vaughn.
He sounds like a fucking Star Wars character.
Yeah. Well,
what's the one in
R2D2.
No. The one, that one. I think it's the one that Han Solo shoots under the.
Oh, Greedo.
Greedo, yeah. He sounds like Greedo.
Funny. Anything for ugly, Dan?
Oh, just Quinn's use of fingers down the chalkboard. There's absolutely no excuse.
Oh, God.
Ever. That is the most revolting feeling and sound in the world.
Yeah.
How good is the look on Harry's face, the old digger from the beach? That's some bad hat, Harry, which is my ugly, is Harry's hat. But the look on Harry's face when he's in the council chambers is he's all excited for the thing. It's great. And my other ugly is that fucking bitch, the girl, the woman that's on the beach who's the wife, and she's in the council chambers as well. She's like, I don't think that's very funny at all. I don't think that's very funny at all. I'm like, fuck off, bitch.
Yeah.
She annoys me every time I watch it. Okay, getting to the end. Star of the show, MVPs. Dan, who you got?
Richard Dreyfuss, loved his performance this time round. Hooper for the win for me.
Yep. Paul?
I don't know. There's no one for me that really like stand. I think it's just a real good.
Some of the parts.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm going Spielberg. Incredible. I don't think any other director of the time could have really pulled it off. I think he was young enough and naive enough to think he could do it. And why he ever decided to film on the ocean is beyond me. But we thank you for it, Stephen. Amazing. Now, we've mentioned already in the podcast about Jaws at 50, the documentary. Just going to play the trailer for it. It's on Disney Plus. It is excellent, and it is well worth watching, whether you are a huge Jaws fan like myself or a fan of film like Dan. Hang on.
To me, making Jaws was a life-altering experience.
50 years, we're still talking about Jaws.
It was the first blockbuster. It's this mystical connection between hero and monster.
This started me thinking about a career in movies.
Is there anything that you've never said about Jaws?
Let's find out. We were on the real ocean, and we were way out of our element for 5 months. And we all began going off the deep end, literally. The film was 100 days behind schedule, and 80% of the time the shark didn't work.
There was a strong undercurrent that the studio would close us down.
I was terrified I was going to be fired, but I never once felt like I wanted to quit. And when the film wrapped, I had a full-blown panic attack. But the success was fantastic.
It was sort of life-changing.
It's the film I've seen the most.
It wasn't just a movie, it was a pop culture phenomenon like that.
It supercharged the language of cinema.
There have been movies made since using CG sharks that aren't nearly as good.
The film that I thought would end my career is the film that began it. Boom, 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 boom.
Nice.
There you go. Well worth a watch. It's on the Disney Channel if you've got it. It's really, really good. Only goes for an hour and a half, so it's well worth your time.
I don't think I've told you. I just did a new track. You know Frank Farrell that came on. Yep. So I did a track with him a couple of weeks ago, and the smile, you son of a bitch.
Oh, you told? No, you've told me that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll have to play it at some stage when you release it. Yeah. Look at Paul. Paul's a real estate agent by day, and I think it's real estate's slowly becoming his hobby, and DJing becoming his full-time gig again. Now, this is a good time to launch into. Paul, tell us a little bit about When I Grow Up and where we can find it.
Okay. Yeah. So when I grew up, it started because I've had like an unusual career path, and I thought other people must have. So I started interviewing people, but then some of my old DJ friends came on, and then other DJs sort of got in touch, and it's kind of probably 75-80% it's like a hard house history lesson, getting to know how the scene sort of came about, and the people that were sort of influential in shaping the scene, and then we've had Brian Carney on this week, who's a big trance DJ, so kind of like branching out a little bit there. And then I'm still having guests on that are not music related, just people.
Not many though.
Not many. But yeah, just people that have got interesting stories. So it's on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts.
Yeah. We'll put the link in the show notes.
The link in the show notes. Yeah, check it out.
We will. Check it out. Yeah. It's produced by a wonderful producer.
Yeah.
And it's surprising that it gets to go live every week. I thank God every week that it does. Boys, we got to the end. Well done. No ranking for this because we've already ranked it. Yeah. But a lot of fun talking about the 50th anniversary of Jaws, and I'm really glad that I got to share it with you both on the big screen in a cinema. It was incredible, and I'm probably going to watch it again this week. So really got to tick up to the 1,000. Yeah, got a few to go. I'm sort of low
Is it
900s.
still on the cinema, or are you watching it at home?
No, I'll watch it at home. Yeah, I would go. I'd go and see it at the cinema again, but I don't think I'm going to get a chance.
Yeah, just sit really close to the.
I could do that. Now, look, next week, the next episode, we're going back to the one true movie star, Tom Cruise, and Jerry Maguire.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, which will be good. And we'll have a lot of fun with the G-Man's back. He's bringing his small teeth back. I hope that he doesn't. Hope he didn't go to Thailand this time for fake teeth. I don't know. I'm assuming that's going to happen at some stage, but I don't think it's this time.
So you swap him out with his small teeth for me with my massive teeth.
Well, any teeth's massive compared to any teeth's massive. It's been fun, gents. People, do your homework. Jerry Maguire, and don't forget, share this to your friends, share this to your enemies. And I also forgot to thank our great mates at Gage Roads Brew Company for their support. We've had several listeners ring in and say that they have been converted from lesser beers now to Gage Roads.
Oh, nice.
So it's all happening. Do your research. Jerry Maguire should be a lot of fun. Paul, thank you.
Thank you.
Dan, thank you.
Nice one, boys.
We shall see you all on the line. Bye for now.